Mr. L live and that boy leveled. Boy leveled. Boy leveled. Mr. L live and that boy leveled. Boy leveled. Boy leveled. Mr. L live. Mr. L live and that Mr. L live and that boy leveled. Boy leveled. Boy leveled. Boy leveled. Mr. L live and that boy leveled. Boy leveled.
What's up, people? It's your boy Level here, back with my partner,
Mr. Live 08.
and we back to talk about news, gaming news, and all the stuff you know me and Mr. Live do, and we do well. And we'd like to thank all y'all for tuning in or clicking the video and watching and listening, and stay tuned because we got some very good stuff, and some of y'all might not consider it good, but some good stuff to talk about. What you think, man?
Yeah, we got some real good stuff to talk about.
So, man, it's been a minute, Live, man. I've been missing you, dude. I've been sitting on here with Triforce. I've been on here with Active, but I haven't been on here with my boy, Mr. L Live 08, man. It's just good to have you back on the mic, chopping it up. Man, it's been a long time, bro.
Man, it's good to be back, man. It's good to be back.
Tell them what happened, man. What was going on, and why you was out of commission for a little bit.
Well, we had a snow and ice storm, and the ice storm, it pretty much, froze everything, knocked the tree limbs down, knocked the power lines down. We didn't have power for like 3-4 days, so I've been in the dark.
Man, I remember when you hit me up and when you finally got back on the grid, you hit me up and you told me. I was like, it didn't really dawn on me the first time you told me. And then I was like, what? You said you've been without power. Then I hit you back, like, you good? By that time, you was already back on. But, man, there's been a lot that has happened in the gaming universe, and a lot of things have taken place in YouTube. And your boy, me, I was on a podcast with Active Gamer Life and S4Y, and we talked about the Nintendo Direct and our thoughts, and we're going to talk about that today. But let's talk about this first recent news that just came up, man. Irrational Games, the people who made BioShock, has closed their doors, man, and yet again another third-party developer has closed their doors. Now, I don't think the dude who owned Irrational Games is done. I think he's going to stick with Rockstar. But what do you think about this company closing their doors, man?
Doom. Another one bites the dust. on a serious note, I think it was a situation where 2K was like, hey, we gotta cut the team, We can't give you, and we can't fund you any more money. I'm not saying that BioShock, is not going to come out again, but I just think, they can use a smaller team.
Right. Now, it's 2K, right? I said Rockstar, didn't I?
Yeah, it's 2K. It's
2K. My bad, people. Hey, I ain't perfect. But anyway, yeah, I read the reasoning. Well, he wrote a little letter to explain what and why he done what he done. He said basically he wanted to focus on a smaller team and all that. But listening to you and the fact that you think that, they cut the funding, I kind of can see that. But it's crazy how a game like, they released 3 BioShocks, and, the last one you said sold 4 million, and still that ain't, it's crazy how they would cut them in a game that has generated that much popularity over the 7th generation period. Because that was one of the staple games of the 7th of last gen.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of the defining games. So I mean, I don't care for first person shooters, but so many people praise the game. It's shocking that 2K would cut or Rational Games will close their doors. So it gotta be, like you said, 2K had to have cut something. They had to.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So, go ahead, my bad.
That's what I believe. I believe, you know, hey, they was like, you know, hey, we can't fund y'all anymore, you know. That's just all to it.
This is crazy, man. I mean, when the stuff happened with THQ, that was sad because they had a lot of good games, and then a lot of different other people and other, I guess, developers under them were affected. And then you look at what's going on right now. It makes me think about what Triforce Johnson said, how he predicted that the third party was going to start shrinking and it's going to start getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And you said while we was talking earlier that you feel like indie, and he said the same thing, that he feels, and you said you feel that indie games is going to replace third party. So kind of elaborate on that a little bit.
Like it's a lot of third party, a lot of indie developers are gonna be asked to develop games or to port games over. So the indie is basically gonna take over from third party. You know, I know like what's the company that's making the Neo game?
Oh, Shannon,
yeah. Shannon is going to be, after a while, third party is going to be asking them, to make, big budget games, to port games over, and stuff like that. I think that's what's going to be the effect. These third parties are going to start giving these indie developers, opportunity, to make money, and they're going to work, hand in hand, still yet, like say Shannon, say like, for instance, if, they wanted to port, I'm just using this as an example. Say if they wanted to port over the Order 1986. I know that's a Sony exclusive, but I'm just saying. Say if they want to port it over to the Wii U, they'll say well, we'll give it to Shannon. We'll give it to Shannon. Shannon, they port it over. They get their cut. Shannon gets their cut, and Sony gets their cut. I think that's the way how it's gonna go from now on, instead of, you just having a 50, 60 man team, working on, one big budget title. I don't, that's over with.
Well, I think, man, that, the indie is ushering in the digital age that everybody keep talking about, because as these, indie developers continue to create unique experiences that are totally different from what we have been experienced. Like if you go back and you look at Seventh Generation was filled with a lot of reproduced experience that was pretty much the same experience being reproduced over and over again and regurgitated. First person shooter after first person shooter after first person shooter, Halo after cloned Halo after cloned Halo after cloned Halo after cloned Call of Duty after cloned Battlefield. And all these games was pretty much the same game, maybe deviated in different areas, in different aspects a little bit, but for the most part you was getting the exact same experience. But when you look at indie and what they're doing, that the experience is totally unique and different from what you're getting from the small group of third-party developers. And I see them going that way, and I also see that the budgets of these AAA games won't be able to be maintained. People literally folding after one game. And if you look at BioShock selling 4 million copies, and that's still not like you said, it got to be more than what the dude saying. He's saying he just want to go a different direction. I don't believe that. It seemed like what you said, 2K either cut funding or BioShock didn't meet the quota, and still they cut funding, because these games are costing so much to produce. The game gonna have to sell like crazy, almost like Grand Theft Auto 5, just to be deemed successful.
Yep.
As you spending $100-something million on a game, that you getting up into movie prices. You getting up into movie costs, movie budgets. And if the game only sells 5-6 million copies, that might, and after you add in advertising and all that, that might get them about a couple of, like maybe 20, 30, 40 million back. But they spent like 110 million to get the game out. So I see indie taking over, and I see AAA dying. I see AAA titles dying. I see you're gonna see some fewer and fewer AAA games being made. You're gonna see people return back to how it was in the NES, Super NES, Genesis days, where you had creative developers making creative games that was different, complex, challenging, but didn't take super huge budgets. That's what I think is gonna take place.
That's exactly what's gonna happen.
So let's move on. Like I said, we playing catch up, people, because me and my boy haven't been on together. Y'all have noticed this is our first podcast where we actually is just me and him since maybe October. So
in a while.
What do you think about Ubisoft? And I know this scratches you in the wrong way, and I know it's a lot that you got to reveal to our listeners and all the folks who tune in to what we do and click that play button. So let's jump into it, and you can kind of save a little bit for a little bit later. But what do you think about Ubisoft and their decision to delay Watch Dogs for the Wii U?
I didn't like it. I didn't understand it. You know, they didn't come out and say, you know, the reason why, you know, they was delaying it. But then the financial report came out, and then that explained, you know, pretty much, you know, everything right there. You know, do I think they canceled it? Yes, I think they canceled the game. I don't think it's coming out for the Wii U. But like I said, then I thought about it, you know, again. I was like, well, maybe they didn't cancel it. Maybe, you know, they might, you know, pull the Rayman, you know, Rayman Legends crap. They might, you know, bring it out, you know, 2-3 months later, you know, like that, if Nintendo still wants it, you know. But
go ahead. I'm listening. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I was gonna try to throw this at you, cause they have been coming out. And, you know, the Emily, I don't know her name on Twitter. You caught her name. Emily Rose, is that her name?
Emily Rogers.
She kind of alluded to this, and other people, that, you know, Ubisoft has been saying emphatically that they have not canceled the Wii U version, that it is coming out. It's just they had to figure out the proper time to release it. Now, I'm under the illusion or the conclusion or the thought, however you want to say that. I'm kind of, my stuff kind of running in together. I'm under the thought that they delayed it. But I was thinking this, and then Dr. Trey made a video, and he kind of alluded to this as well, the possibility that Mario Kart 8 might have made Ubisoft feel like they need to push the Wii U version back because they plan on releasing the game between April and June. So I'm thinking it's more likely going to be towards the end. If they going to say June, then it's going to be in May somewhere. And with Mario Kart tentative date being May 30th, do you think Mario Kart had some influence in causing Ubisoft to change their to delay the Wii U version?
No, not really.
Yeah, you don't.
Nope.
Okay.
I don't think Mario Kart is gonna come out in May. I think it's gonna come out.
Okay. You gotta explain a lot. You gotta let the people know what you're on now. Come on now.
Well, you know, Nintendo is notorious about doing this. You know, if you don't know, you better realize Nintendo is gonna push Mario Kart back, and they're gonna say, before 21 days, mark my words now, 21 days before Mario Kart is getting ready to come out, they're gonna say we need to push it back because we need to polish it up a little bit more, and they're gonna show it at E3.
Man, if Nintendo, you think they're gonna do that for real?
Yep.
I don't even want to think about that live. I don't even want to think about it because right now, man, anyway, okay. So you think they just threw that date out just to throw it out, but their true intentions is to push this game and show it again at E3.
Yeah, because they haven't explained anything like yet about Mario Kart. They haven't explained anything. They gave you a date. They haven't explained anything. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they haven't set any expectations on it.
So you don't think they could have another direct prior to that E3 and explain Mario Kart?
Would you wanna explain it at a direct, or would you want to explain it at E3?
You make a good point right there. Okay. I'm gonna leave it alone. So speaking of the Rex, cause I could go. Speaking of the Rex, man, you seen? I know you seen the podcast that I was invited to with Active and S4Y. Yeah. I know you seen my recent upload of Slap Yourself. Yeah. I know you've seen a direct. Now, nobody has heard from you live all year. You haven't uploaded nothing on your personal channel. We haven't did a Live and Level Gamers podcast. A Nintendo Direct just came up last week. For everyone listening, give me your thoughts.
That Nintendo Direct, as in Reggie words, was meh. You cannot spend 30 minutes on the 3DS and the Wii U is suffering. You know, you just had your financial report. You just explained, saying that how you gonna, try, and fix things, and you don't come out and tell the people, hey, look, we know, we messed up, with the Wii U. Here's what we're gonna do, to fix it. Iwata could have did that in the first beginning of the direct, and then he could have went in and did the direct, But I just think there's not a sense of urgency by Iwata. I think he's just sugarcoating things, just telling us, what's what, the 3DS is it's a good gaming console. Well, it's a good mobile console. The games are, I understand why they can produce games on it, because it's cheap. It's cheap to develop for.
Mm-hmm.
That's no problem. HD, Nintendo wasn't ready for HD. They wasn't ready. They're behind. They're behind when it comes to HD. They're behind. Everybody's, talking about, they want, as far as, online, they want, online voice chat, notifications, and stuff like that. Nintendo is behind. They are behind. And I hate to say it, and Nintendo fans will get mad with me. I don't care. But, this needs to be said. If Iwata doesn't get his act together this year, Iwata needs to be fired. He needs to be. He needs to be fired. I'm serious, Levelhead.
I hear you. I'm listening. Go ahead, man. I'm not going to interrupt you. Speak your mind, man.
Iwata needs to be fired, because I went back and I looked at something, and I this happened in 2011. The same thing with the 3DS. Him taking a pay cut, him saying, we're gonna have, we're gonna put out more games, which he did. He did bring the 3DS up. But this is what I'm saying with HD gaming. This is a different beast. The Western and the Eastern are different beasts. he has to realize that he can't be stuck in his ways and do the same old things. He can't do that anymore. As the time changes, gamers change. I understand companies change, everything change, and I think Iwata doesn't realize that.
Well, he said that he misread the market. He misread the Western market specifically. And to piggyback on what you're saying, you know, because I got a lot of flack for my Slap Yourself, and we got a lot of flack for the Active Gamers podcast with Active and S4I. A lot of people getting slack. Now, I want to say this, man, to clarify some things, and I might do my own video on the side to even go into more detail. It's one thing, and I'm gonna use some individuals that, you know, in this YouTube community as an example. I can see if folks, I can understand why folks get upset and get tired of a person like Black Bun. You know what I'm saying? When he talks about Nintendo and loves to use Nintendo as a way to generate hits and start flame wars. I can see people getting mad at a Hard 8 or a BG and all these other cats that are like that. But, you know, when a guy like me, or a guy like Live, or a guy like Active, or a guy like even Shoke chooses to be real and show their real fan and their real passion about what they're like, I don't understand why people get upset and react the way that they react. Now, the thing is, I am not upset. I'm just a fan of Nintendo, and I feel like, no, it ain't no feel, I know that Nintendo, I know Iwata, I know these people can do better. Now, with that being said, we was talking yesterday about doing this podcast, and we was getting some good points then, but I want to bring back up one thing I said then, and I said it to I think it was Buttersworth. There's a guy named Buttersworth in my comment section. You know, Iwata is not in the dark to what's going on with the Wii U. Iwata is not in the dark to knowing that the Wii U was not going to meet the 9 million projected Wii U sales by the end of the physical year 2013. All this was known ahead of time.
Yep.
They got people. They hire people. They got people who do nothing but crunch numbers. They got people that do nothing but keep up with how the sales are trending, how the Wii U is moving in the marketplace. They know this stuff way before the Nintendo financial reports being publicized. They know this. Now, with the fact that they know that the Wii U needs help, the fact that they know that the Wii U has been misunderstood by the within the marketplace, people not knowing for a long time that it was a new system, people not knowing that it wasn't just a controller, but it was an actual new Nintendo console. All this stuff, you would think, with after them having the financial report and the investors meeting and all that with the investors and talking to us, that Nintendo and Iwata would have formulated and strategized a plan with their first Nintendo Direct, because this Nintendo Direct came a good ways after that report, and they knew about them numbers probably 2 months ago. They already knew it was going to be bad. So to me, you could have strategized a way to put the Wii U center stage. You know, the 3DS, people keep talking about the 3DS and why would you market the Wii U when you have nothing to show? I beg to differ. You do have something to show. You know, like you said, it's very easy to develop for the 3DS. And the 3DS got a strong lineup of games behind behind it. And it has a good momentum and a good build up of steam. So it's moving pretty good. You know, the Wii U needs to be center stage. The Wii U needs to be focused on. They need to do more in depth, like they do it with the 3DS all the time. Like if you go back and you look at that Direct, and I don't mean to ramble on, but just bear with me for a second. You go back and you look at that direct. Look at how detailed Iwata was about deep steel diver, online. We've spent time making this an FPS. All this detailed, giving you in-depth understanding of the game. Then they go on to the baseball game with Rusty. Detailed, right? Detailed breakdown of this game, how you can debate with Rusty and work back and forth on pretty much microtransactions. I think that's what that is. You got to pay for the stuff, but you can negotiate a price. And if you find these items and you get these items in the game and you can use it to get Rusty to lower his price and win over his favor. Detailed breakdown of the game. Then they go into the indies and they sit and they have another dude sitting on the couch breaking down these indies games, talking to the people who made the game. Detailed. But then when the Wii U portion come up, after that 27 to 30 minute long 3DS breakdown, the Wii U, they throw you Mario Kart. They don't give you no details. Is it online? All they let you know is the Koopalins is in it now, and it's coming out May 30th. Okay, let's move on. Bayonetta 2, no details. You don't see Platinum Games. Nobody sitting down talking about it. You don't see nothing. Just a Iwata talking over. You barely can understand what he's saying, and then they move on. Then they throw up X, and they really do nothing with X, but just show you some gameplay. Don't explain what's going on. Don't explain anything. I mean, they show X, and then they move to Bayonetta. But you get what I'm saying. It's like, look at how totally different the approach is when it comes to the 3DS and the Wii U. And it reminds me of something Nintendo, and this is what I'm gonna make a video on. He's like, no parity, no purchase. You know, and I like what he was saying because he was talking about Watch Dogs and Ubisoft, and it was very intelligent and very bright. But I want to take what he was saying and I want to add it to Nintendo themselves. Look at how it ain't no parity with how they deal with the 3DS versus the Wii U. Now wheel me back in if I'm floated off. You know, I don't know. I might be off with what I'm saying.
No, you ain't off what you're saying. I mean, it's true.
So
it's true what you saying.
And that's what. See, because I don't think that this direct was bad. I just think it was misguided. I think it was a strikeout, not because it was bad. It was a strikeout because it wasn't the needed. It wasn't focused right. What was being focused on wasn't what needs to be focused on. And it's. Oh, go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying exactly. You hit the nail right on the coffin. You know, they didn't need to focus 30 minutes on the 3DS. That's not the problem, Nintendo. The problem is the Wii U. And you know this. You know the problem is the Wii U. Fix it. That's all you have to do. Quit saying I'm sorry. Quit saying I can't do this. Quit saying I can't do that. Fix it. That's all you have to do. Fix the problem with the Wii U.
And live, there's so much. People keep saying, oh, they ain't got enough. Everybody want to hear something new. Everybody want new games. No, I don't want new games. What I want is an explanation of what you said, or they said that this was a Wii U, this was a Nintendo Direct focused on spring releases, right?
Yep.
How many spring releases did they focus on when it came to the Wii U? Donkey Kong and what else?
Donkey Kong ain't in no spring.
Well, it ain't, but okay. Right. Donkey Kong ain't in spring. Neither is Mario Kart 8. Neither is Bayonetta, because Bayonetta, they announced is coming out in the summer. Neither is X, because X ain't even got a date. So if the Direct was about the spring launch lineup, where were the games for that lineup?
Like I said, man, the Nintendo is gonna do the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again. Iwata's gonna sit up there and say, "I sorry. It ain't cutting it anymore." I'm serious, man. It's not cutting it anymore. If you're a Nintendo fan, like Shokio said, I watched this video today. Like he said, I ain't with the kumbaya, camaraderie thing. I'm not worrying about that. But if you're a Nintendo fan and you go out and you go give Nintendo your hard-earned money, and you keep accepting the same thing that Nintendo keeps doing to you, you crazy. And Nintendo is not going to change unless you get on Twitter and you voice your opinion about things. And you make sure your voice is heard. That's the only way things are going to change.
I mean, it's like people will accuse you live. They will accuse you of not paying attention, right? They will accuse you of not knowing. If you're a Nintendo fan, you should be used to this. You should know how Nintendo deal. Okay, let me throw a monkey wrench in that. When in the history of Nintendo have they ever started talking about their next console, both handheld and home console? Never. In a year removed from releasing their supposed next gen system. Never. So is leveled head off in looking at this thing like, wait a minute here. I have never seen Nintendo do or operate in this manner. 2, Nintendo has been overly vague. Now, they have always been secretive, but they're being overly secretive. We have seen the exact same games 2, 3, 4, 5 times over. Now, I understand that the directs are something new, something innovative, wise thing to do, a wise way of getting close and in person with your fan base. But at the same time, the 3DS is getting a lot of attention. The 3DS is getting good announcements, detailed understanding of what's going on, dates and all. And who focuses on the 3DS more? Japan. Yep. Is an Eastern console. It's Japan. That's what the Japan market eat up. And you notice that Nintendo deals a lot on the 3DS, but the West is all about home console. But you don't see no parity in the way that they deal with the 3DS versus the Wii U. There's no parity across the board. It ain't. I mean, it really boggles the mind, man. It really does. And I love Iwata. I mean, I like Iwata. I don't love Iwata, but I like Iwata. I think Iwata is a very smart man. I won't go so far as what you say. I don't think Iwata needs to get fired, but I think Iwata needs to get out the way far as he don't need to be the face far as who's being seen. Iwata needs to fall back and allow someone else to be seen, someone else to be the face, even though he might be pulling the strings behind the scenes. Iwata needs to let somebody else create a perception that Nintendo is going down a different path and start instituting new ways of handling business. These long droughts, these long waits, these long development time. I mean, if you look at how they're throwing out 3DS games, it makes you scratch your head how they wasn't able to do that with the Wii when the Wii was SD. It was standard definition as well. You know, but they pumping out games left and right with the 3DS. They pumped out games left and right with the DS, but with the home consoles, dude, this is delay after delay, apology after apology. And me as a consumer, I gotta think consumer. At some point, I gotta start thinking about, man, I spent $350. I love your product, Nintendo, but after a while, you cannot continue to accept the exact same mismanagement from Iwata and company. It to me, at the while, it's like you with a girl. Like, you know, it's like me being with a girl and this girl mistreating me and this girl doing me wrong and this girl ain't showing me no attention, ain't doing me right. But right before I'm about to give up and quit on her and leave, she come and caress me the right way. And she touched me the right way and she give me what I want. And she does what I want for that moment. And once she got me back and she got me open again, then she go back to mistreating me again. And then she go back to neglecting me again. Then she go back to acting as if she don't even know I'm here. And then the moment I'm about to say, you know what, I'm done with this, or about to complain, or about to say something, or she hear my complaints a little bit, then she come and she stroke me real quick to get me back in line. It's like, no, why you just won't change and be what you need to be if we gonna be in a relationship? You know what I'm saying? So it's like Nintendo as a consumer, why don't you just do what you know you need to do? I don't know if I'm wrong for thinking like that. You know,
you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong a bit. I just think from a standpoint that Nintendo, I hate to say it, I just think Nintendo is not gonna spend the money. They're not gonna market the Wii U. They're not gonna rebrand the Wii U. I'm pretty much thinking they're probably not gonna make any more Wii U's. I think by 2016 the Fusion system will be out. I think this E3 they'll show the new handheld, at E3, or they'll talk about it, in some form factor. I just think, that's it. They get, they pretty much, giving up on it. We're gonna get the games that, that's gonna come out this year. But the thing is, what are you gonna get in 2015? What are you gonna get, in 2016? That's the thing, because you ain't gonna get a Zelda and you're not gonna get a Metroid. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You're not gonna get those two. You will not see a Zelda or Metroid on the Wii U unless it's a HD remake. That's it. Because those two will be set up for the new system.
I mean, I don't want to, I can't say I agree, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I can't say that you're off. Cause, like I said, when have we ever heard Nintendo talk in this much detail about their future system when they just released the system? That's the kicker. That's the catcher. That's what's odd. And if everybody's supposed, you talk about these armchair analysts, and people will probably call us armchair analysts and commentate, whatever. But they'll turn around and turn into armchair analysts to show you how you're an armchair analyst. And it's like, okay, all I'm doing is I'm listening, I'm watching, I'm observing, and I'm responding accordingly. You can say the history of Nintendo is this way and that way and that way and this way. I know it's like that because I was there. I was there with the GameCube. I was there with the N64. I was there with the Super Nintendo. I was there with the NES. I know that Nintendo go through long droughts. I know they like to perfect their games. I made those same arguments. But a lot is changing in how Nintendo is talking themselves and what they're doing. I remember when Ocarina of Time, before Ocarina of Time came out, not only did I get to play the game, it had detailed breakdowns of what the game was like and what it took to make the game. And I remember going to read the Nintendo magazine, and they had all the breakdown, a good spread of the game, all that. Weeks, months before I played Ocarina of Time. That's why I got so hyped for the game. So even then, even though we waited for a while for the game, we still was getting a breakdown of the game, and they're still doing it today because they do it with the 3DS. They break down the game. They tell you what's going on with the game. They tell you all the features of the game. And that's something Nintendo does do. It just takes a while for the game to come out. But when it comes to the Wii U, they don't tell you nothing. Mm-hmm. And they don't have no dates for nothing. Bayonetta should not pass E3. Bayonetta should not go past E3. Bayonetta should be releasing in the spring. It should be a spring game. That game should be releasing, if not right now, by April.
April. That's when it should be released, in April.
So I can't get mad. You know, this leads into something I guess you probably want to announce, and we could talk about that, and then we'll talk about being honest as Nintendo fans. So go ahead, bro. Break the news if you want to.
I mean, well, folks. I thought I'd never do this, but I went ahead and did it. I went and got a PS4. I mean, I traded in my Wii U. When what happened was when they announced it that Watch Dogs was going to be canceled or pushed back, I said, that's the straw that broke the camel back. I said, that's it. I got frustrated. I said, that's it. I'm done with Nintendo. You know, I'm tired, putting up with their mess. I was like, I'm just going to get me a PS4. So that's what I did. I went and got a PS4. And, like I said, for the most part, it's okay. I can't complain. It's okay. They don't have a lot of games, out for the system yet, but I'll say this. I'll tell anybody, I'm still going to get a Wii U when Smash Brothers come out, because that's the game that I really want. And when Smash Brothers comes out, I'm going to get me a Wii U. And I'll tell anybody this. If you're going to go buy a system, think about this when you're going to buy a system. You got the Wii U, you got the Xbox One, and the PS4. If you want to play games right now that's on a system right now, get the Wii U. They have good games that you can play. Now, if you want to invest your money in a system that's going to have games later on down the road, then get a PS4 or Xbox One. That's what I would tell anybody,
Now I'm pretty sure people are probably like, oh man, what's going to happen with Live and Leveled and this pod? Nothing.
Ain't nothing.
Nothing's going to happen. Now I want y'all to listen, because I've been knowing about Live decision for since January, the beginning of January. I've been knowing for a while. I've been sitting on it, but I came to this conclusion, and this is what we're talking about as Nintendo fans and what makes you a Nintendo fan. Man, I'm a grown man. Let me just say this first. And, I know some of these people in this community have done, some people might think I was talking about them when I said game on. No, I wasn't. I was talking to Live. There was a video where Live was my inspiration, and maybe one other person was my inspiration for that video when I said game on. No matter what you're gaming on, game on. And this is why I say it. Live has the right to say, you know what? Well, what I'm seeing from Nintendo, well, what Iwata is doing, the decisions that they're making, I feel like at this moment and at this time, I do not want to continue with the Wii U until they prove to me that they're going to do what they keep saying they're going to do. I'm going to move on. He had an opportunity. He broke it down to me on Live. I don't know if you don't mind if I go into detail how you broke it down to me when we first talked about it. Yeah. You told me how you had an opportunity to get the PS4 and it was a good deal, and you wrestled with doing it. You didn't want to get rid of the Wii U, but at the same time, with the Watchdog looming over your head, and then the fact that Iwata and company isn't spending a lot of time on really explaining what they're going to do and not really giving anyone any hope to really believe that they're going to do anything, you went on and made the investment and got the PlayStation 4 for a good deal. Now, at that time, it was hard to find a PlayStation 4. And, and when I was talking to not Live, but Active and S4Y, I said, I know a guy that got the PlayStation 4. And I asked him how is the experience from the Wii U. He said it ain't no big difference. You know what I'm saying? I was talking about Live. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we got to be real, people. We are consumers first. We are customers first.
That's right.
Gamers second. Nintendo fans third. Now, I love Nintendo. And I know Live loves Nintendo. But at the same time, if this particular product ain't satisfying him and what their messages ain't satisfying him, doesn't he have the right to go and take it back and purchase what he feel like might and see what that's about? You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about buying the 3 and 4 and 5, 6 and 7, 8 times. No, I'm talking about just being a man and handling your business and you know what I'm saying? Like I would say, like Super said, my money is important to me. You know, he said that. So I don't have no problem with what Live did. Me as being a Nintendo fan, I probably wouldn't have done it, and I won't do it. But I don't have no problem with him doing it. And I'm still gonna sit here. We're gonna talk about Nintendo games. We're gonna talk about games in general. We're gonna still have Triforce and all the different ones we have on here. And if he feel like Iwata proves himself, you know, I let you speak for yourself. But if you in the future you feel like you want to pick it back up, then that's what you do, bro. That's how I feel about it, man. I'm past you got rid of the Wii U. I'm done with you. I got to unsub. Man, that's immature. That's stupid. That's foolish. So that's how I feel about it, man.
Yeah, it's crazy, man, how people in this YouTube community carry on about a piece of plastic, man. I mean,
right.
It's crazy. You know, hey, if I make the decision, if I want to go out and I want to get me another system, I'm going to get me another system. Just like I was saying the other day, when they released the white Xbox One, I'm going to get that because I like that color and I do like some of the features that's on the Xbox One that I can use for my entertainment center,
Right.
So, hey, it is what it is when they drop the price, but it is what it is.
I mean, and like I said, man, like I told my boy K-Bum, I'm going to get the PlayStation 4. It ain't for me right now. The game that I'm looking for. And like I told you, it ain't released for me right now. The Wii, I'm satisfied far as with what the Wii U, what I have on it at this moment, and the hopes of what I believe, and I'm hoping that will fix up and straighten up in the future with Iwata and company. I'm cool. Right now ain't nothing on the PlayStation 4 that's drawing me to buy the system, even though I have every intention on getting the system. But I cannot get mad at and I can't I'm just done with all that, man. I'm done with the stupid stuff. I'm done with catering to people, scared to say what you feel or feel like if you say something, people gonna start. I don't care. If you don't want to be subscribed, if you don't want to hear my points, if you don't want to hear my opinion, if you can stick with me through praising Nintendo, I feel like you should stick with me when I'm letting Nintendo know they need to get their act together. And right now, it's one of them moments. Iwata can't apologize no more. People, Iwata only got E3 left. If Iwata fumbled E3, yes, like Live said, there's going to be a question on whether he needs to be fired, which is already being questioned now. I don't want him to be fired. But how many times can a person make the same mistakes before you realize, man, either you a fool or you just don't get it? Because, they say a fool does the same thing expecting different results.
Yep.
You can't keep doing the exact same thing, approaching it the exact same way, expecting different results. When you look at the Nintendo Direct, you can't keep approaching it with the 3DS as your main focus and expect people to praise and be caught up into the Wii U. You can't do it. You gotta make the Wii U. It's like two kids. And it's like you hear this kid over here crying And this other kid over here is cool, but you focusing on the kid that's cool and won't even go see what the kid that's crying is crying about. Mm-hmm. It's like, it's just total neglect. And you can get mad at the Shokes, you can get mad at Active, you can get mad at me, you can get mad at Live, you can get mad at all the other people who are Nintendo fans who choose to speak up, and you can try to find fault with them. But you might want to look at Nintendo and find fault with them because you spent $350 yourself.
Exactly.
And at the end of the day, you put your money out there. I put my money where my mouth is. I bought games. I have plenty of games over there. Some of them third party, some of them Nintendo. I support it from all angles, trying to make this system be a success. And like somebody said, I done my part. Dr. Dre said that I done my part, and I will continue to do my part. But at the end of the day, man, this ain't our problem. This is Iwata's problem, and he created the problem, and he needs to fully address the problem. Stop sweeping it under the proverbial rug, and start dealing with it.
Yes.
You know, and so if anyone chooses to take their Wii U back, you know, El Bambi, I think that's how you say his name. Shouts out to him. He took his back. I can't knock that man. Peter, I can't think of his name, but you know it's your boy Peter. He took his back. I can't knock that man. You know what I'm saying? Now, some of you other guys who thought I wasn't talking to you, but I'm talking to them. If they decide that they're taking theirs back, and they decide to go a different direction, I can't get mad at them. I'm not going to unsub to them. I'm going to keep on listening to them. Peter made a good video. I thought he made some good points, and I couldn't knock it. El Bambi made some good points. I couldn't knock it. And as a Nintendo fan, I just chose to listen to them, listen to their points, listen to their reasoning, and I sit back and you're like, you know what? They made good points, and if they feel like they need to do that, I say game on. See what I'm saying? And that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with it. Game on.
And I hate it. I hate it because if us as consumers know what the problem is and Nintendo is not trying to fix it, you're gonna have more people that's gonna do the same thing that I did.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. You can't find fault with them. I'm not going to do it. I mean, I won't. And it ain't because, you know what I'm saying? When I buy something, this is how I am. When I buy something, unless it break down on me, then it's here. Now, I might trade in a game, but a system, because after I traded in my Dreamcast for the PlayStation 2, I swore I'd never do that again. I haven't traded in the system since. And I still got to tell y'all that story about the dumbest decision I've made in gaming when I traded in my Dreamcast for the PlayStation 2. But I choose not to now. I traded in my Xbox 360 because I knew it was finna die on me. Yeah. But I will keep it. I'll pass it on to my son. You know what I'm saying? So I probably won't do it. But some people don't want to go out and spend a fork over another $4.99 or $3.99 when they can offset that with a system that they're not playing or not enjoying or don't feel like they're getting what they thought they were going to get when they purchased it. They take it back. They let that be a down payment on their next purchase. I have no problem with that, especially after you spend a year, 15 months standing strong, you know what I'm saying, and believing and hoping. If you feel like it ain't going to do it, you got that right. You know what I'm saying? So I say game on, man. That's what I say. So Live and Level Gamers Podcast isn't going anywhere. We're still going to talk Nintendo. We're just going to have to add a little Sony up in there. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's just what we're going to have to do, man, because we got to grow up. You know what I'm saying? People got to grow up. People got to realize that this isn't our life. These are hobbies, like Super said in his last video. These are hobbies. This is a hobby of mine, Live's decision to take his Wii U back does not stop me from breathing. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make me hate this, man. I still enjoy talking to my boy Live, and I'm going to ask him about it because I plan on getting one, so I'm glad he got one. I can ask him about it. I can ask K-Bum about it, and we still going to talk Nintendo.
That's right. I mean, people do not get it twisted. I am still a Nintendo fan. I've been with Nintendo since 1980. I've been playing on Nintendo system since 1980. I done had a Famicom, NES, every last one of Nintendo systems. You know, so like Levelhead said, you know, don't get it twisted just because, you know, I took it back. I know more about Nintendo than the average person knows.
That's right, because you schooling me all the time, and I don't be knowing as much as you be knowing. So, anyway, man, yeah, so that's the announcement. I know some of y'all probably shocked, you know what I'm saying? Some of y'all probably sitting back in your seats like, wow, did I just hear what I heard? Yeah, you heard it. Get over it. Life goes on, and that's how it is, people. It's time for this community to grow up. It's time for us, all of us, and I ain't saying that, you know, some of us have moved on and showing our true gamer nature, but it's time to grow up. It's time to be real, man. At the end of the day, that man spent his money. He has the right to make the decision that he made. Now, if he coming on, he trying to knock Nintendo, and he trying to, you know, like some people do, they trade their stuff off, then they become haters. You know, I ain't saying that from live. He just sharing his opinion about a piece of plastic he bought. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no different me. When I got tired of the iPhone, I took it back and I got a Samsung Galaxy. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's my choice to do that. So, you know what I'm saying? We still love Nintendo. I still love Nintendo. He still love Nintendo. And that's how it's gonna be. And pretty soon I'm gonna have me a PlayStation 4 as well, and probably some of y'all will too. So let's not front. Let's be real about it. So at the end of the day, life goes on. This podcast will still be strong, and we can still talk the stuff we talk and try to school you guys and have very intelligent and leveled and live commentary. So that's all I got to say on that.
That's right.
So we getting down to the end of this podcast. You got anything else you want to share, man?
Nah, man. I mean, we done pretty much put it all out there, man.
Oh man. I know they I know some people's faces are I can sense we ain't even uploaded yet, and I can tell the conversation is going to be ablaze. But you know what? Blaze it up, man, because
you
might as well just get over it, man. It's time to grow up.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's real talk. It's time to grow up, you know, and accept that there's a real world and there's a fantasy world. And some of these guys are living in the fantasy world and don't realize that these games are just games, man. And at the end of the day, that's all it is. It's a piece of plastic. It ain't gonna end your world. It ain't gonna end my world. That's how it is. Game on. So, with that being said, man, stay tuned for the next live and level, because, you know, of course, we're gonna talk about all the news and different stuff that pop up. So, we're gonna try to pick things back up, man. Like I said, over the holidays, and then I had an ice storm myself, and then he had one, and internet problems and stuff that we had both. We had one tonight. We had to start the podcast over. So, but we're going to start picking this thing back up and get back on these podcasts like we were last year. And we're going to have even more good content. And so probably try to get John Shaw. I'm going to talk to John Shaw from STFUandplay.com and see if he want to be a guest, you know, and maybe get Triforce Johnson back. Man, what did you think about that timeline with Zelda, man?
Man, Triforce had me in here hype, man. Man, he had me hyped to play a Zelda game, man. Man, he had me in here hype.
So, yeah, he broke it down. See, he was trying to, he called you because, he thought you was on there, but he was breaking it down, dude. He was really going in on that. So, we supposed to be talking about Metroid, and I think he wanted to talk about Soul Reaver. And Final Fantasy, he want to talk about that as well. So we going to start that up where we talk about the timelines in these games. And we just got to, you know what I'm saying, we just going to expand, man, and get even better, you know what I'm saying. So with that being said, man, this is your boy Level.
And this your boy Mr. Live 08.
And we signing out. Deuces.
Peace.
Mr. Ill live and that boy leveled. Boy leveled. Boy leveled. Mr. Ill live and that boy leveled. Boy leveled. Boy leveled. Mr. Ill live. Mr. Ill live and that Mr. Ill live and that boy leveled. Boy leveled. Boy leveled. Boy leveled. Mr. Ill live and that boy leveled. Boy leveled. Boy leveled.